How are you?
I'm good. I honestly can't complain. It's pretty good. All considered, you know. I mean, if you look at it at the end of March, we thought we were going to shut us down, you know. The government announced that on a Sunday night, as of Tuesday, all non-essential services must be closed by Tuesday. So we came to work expecting closed down, and then they modified it. The stores can stay open as long as they don't let people in, and blah, blah, blah. So we decided we would keep trading, and then we figured we'd only need 20-30% of the staff. So we put people off, stood them down to go on to what was called Job Seeker, and within 4 or 5 days, the government brought out this thing called Job Keeper, where they helped us to keep everybody employed. And then we brought everybody back, not necessarily back to work, but at home, working 16 to 24 hours a week. And of course, production is dead. Install is finishing off what projects they've got going because builders can still work. But what's happened is retail's gone through the roof. Our online, let's say the progressive retailers are having record months bigger than Christmas. In fact, one retailer we said, how was May? He said, well, not that great. It's a normal Christmas, not like April.
If you could have gone back to January, Pete, and looked at your crystal ball, you'd have done different forecasts. You maybe would have spec'd less touring Adamson speakers, less S10s, and put more portable gear in the... If you could have spec'd for a virus, you'd have got a different product range in the warehouse, wouldn't you?
One of the things when this happened, one of the things we did, we cancelled as many orders as we could. And we cancelled 2 40-foot of pianos, digital pianos. In April that month, we sold a year's worth of pianos to the trade, which usually is sold to the likes of JB and stuff like that.
Well, let's go back through your portfolio in case anyone's watching this and isn't familiar with CMI, Peter. Your Pro division, you started initiating about 15 years ago. You brought HK Audio in and developed more and more brands over that time. And now you've got Adamson, a huge Harman portfolio. But essentially, CMI is music and a big MI presence.
We started many years ago, probably 30, 40 years ago, as a guitar company, really. My brother started that. I joined him 20 years ago to introduce audio into the business. And so now our divisions are, our smallest division is the guitar business. We have music production, which includes recording and DJ and keyboards like Korg, Native Instruments, Universal Audio. And on the side, we've always had the Pro Audio, as you mentioned, and that's over the last couple of years, 2 or 3 years, has just been growing. And this year, till COVID came along, it surpassed the music production division.
Tell me how your suppliers have been. Have they been supportive? They sympathetic, or they just realise you're like everybody else and suffering at the moment and leading you to your own devices?
The suppliers have been fantastic. We got on the front foot. Our policy was we'll plan for the worst and hope for the best, and that was advantageous because as soon as we thought that we were going to be locked out of the building by the government, we quickly went on front foot and cancelled every order that we could. Then the dollar dropped. If you recall, the dollar went from 70 cents down to 53, 54. We then requested for currency relief on some of the orders that were coming because it was a bad time to start putting prices up. They assisted most of it that could, assisted us.
Were you also disturbed by the scale of these events that the government was imposing on sort of, making Australia an island away from the rest of the world and protecting itself? And obviously business stopped at that point. Were you worried?
I wasn't worried as I was, let's say, during the global GFC, global crisis, right, financial crisis. This time round, I accepted it and it didn't concern me because of two reasons. One was everybody is in the same boat. If you can't pay the rent, the tenant, the landlord isn't going to throw you out because he's got nobody else to replace you with. So I wasn't worried. And look, if everyone's in the same boat, if everyone is losing 80% of their income, the government and everybody else involved that you're indebted to or working with is in the same boat as you, and therefore will assist you. Our family owns a large amount of properties, and I'd say, I think 40 to 60% of those, we've given them 50% rent relief. It's no point asking for full rent when the guy's closed, and it's no point if you want him to still be there and come back after 3 or 6 months, you have to do the right thing. Everybody has to feel the pain.
How's the mood then? Obviously, the restaurants have opened with restrictions, 20 people only. The bars aren't open yet, but there seems to be a general easing and going forward. What's the mood on the street like now, Pete?
We don't see that many people. As you know, I live in the city, and we've been going for a walk. And this last weekend, there was twice as many people out shopping as compared to the week before. More shops were open. Generally, the mood of the people is I wouldn't say buoyant, but quite good. People are still in good spirits. We feel comfortable. We feel the fear's not there. Although we're really paranoid and what's the word, cautious. We have a very strict policy at work. We've got sanitizers all over the building. Wherever you go, every door you go through, there's a sanitizer. Everybody has their own knives, forks and plates. Nobody from outside that's not employed is allowed in the building, so we have no outsiders coming in at all. So we're being very strict, because if we get somebody if somebody at CMI gets the virus, we're locked down for 14 days. You know, I haven't spoken to many people that are down. In the first week, let me tell you, there was some depression going on. What we've been doing with the people that aren't at work and are working outside, every 2 weeks, Nathan Brady, who you know, and I will get them on a phone, Skype call, and talk them, not business size or what they've been doing, just talk them through how they're doing personally and is there anything we can do.
You've got a large team. I mean, Brian is living on the Gold Coast. You've got other members who are spread around Australia as well in different states. So you've always, I mean, it's such a large country that you're used to working remotely. You don't need to be in the office. You don't need to be in Hawthorne from 9 till 5:30, whatever, to do your job, unless you're working in the warehouse. Do you think this virus has taught you anything going forward that you might be able to sort of decentralise even more, perhaps?
Yes, we've already made decisions on certain people will only work 3 days a week in the office. Working remotely is much more efficient. There's no doubt about that. Depending on the job, but working remotely is efficient. But having that collaboration with other people is just as important. We have been bringing people back every now and then with social distancing and so forth to collaborate. Going forward, there's probably, I would say a good dozen people that will work 3 days a week, and we've chosen Friday and Monday they'll be working from home. You got to have the collaboration. You cannot get rid of that. But we all know that if you work from home, you can double the amount of work hours you get out of.
You were born in Croatia on the island of Lastovo. You've still got relatives there, and given it's winter time now in Melbourne, you like to get away with your wife Tina and flee to the northern hemisphere sun around the Mediterranean and the Adriatic this time of year. You're not going to be able to do that this year, are you?
This is the first winter I'm going to spend in Australia for 10 years. You know, I'm waiting for Queensland to open its borders so I can go to Queensland. Yeah, the figure. Look, Tina and I have been looking at it. Because the government has banned any travel at all. We could go to Croatia because we've both got Croatian citizenships. The only problem is they probably won't let us back into Australia till next year, so it'd be a long, long holiday.